More good economic news. Q4 in 61 days, you guys. It is coming. It's basically 2 months away, and context is king. Context is king, as well as any questions that you guys might have about whatever it is that you are working on. So I've sort of been reporting over the last couple of days because I think it's important, and Lord knows we need it, that the economic data really has been coming out pretty rosy in a number of different spots. And independent of what's going on with tariffs and everything else, I've been looking really, really closely at companies' earnings, and Facebook and Microsoft like absolutely crushed today, which are two extremely positive trends. And I think I've said in some of the other videos, I'm just really hoping that we're out of this economic malaise and that this Q4 is a significantly better Q4 than we saw last year, which was one of the lowest in quite some time because of how spotty things were economically. And the stock market is at, what's up, Stelly, is at like in ATH an all-time high, and the data is just extremely when the market has been in an all-time high or close to it in the month of July, 80% of the following Q4s showed significant improvement. The only time that doesn't happen is when it's an election season, and guess what? It's not election season, thank God. So I'm really, really excited about this Q4 being a big one. And given that I'm excited about this Q4 being a big one means that it is my job to continue banging the drum, letting you guys know that there is a countdown timer until this season starts, that more art, more photography will be sold, okay, in Q4 this year than likely any of the other months all year long, and we need to be ready. So I've been creating a ton of content. And by the way, Trump signed an executive order today to completely eliminate the de minimis rule. I think a lot of you guys probably know what that is. Maybe you don't, but the de minimis rule was this like loophole where if a package, an individual order was $800 or less, it didn't get taxed. And so it was like a loophole for like Temu and Alibaba and all these companies to send these individual packages, not have to pay any taxes. And Trump eliminated it for China. Next thing you know, all these packages started coming out of Vietnam and South Korea and all these other additional countries. And why this is a good thing for art sales is it just prevents any more cheap stuff that is not paying taxes, that's not being tariffed, that's not being produced in the United States, like all of your art and photography and prints and merch usually is. It means that those folks have to pay taxes and you don't. So I'm excited about that. But anyway, as long as the macroeconomic news that keeps coming and coming and coming is good, then I'm feeling very, very good about that. I want to talk about a couple of the new podcast episodes. I'm going to hammer the content this time to get you guys ready, and literally talk about every single solitary aspect of an art or photography business. So 2 episodes ago, I did Ready, Set, Q4, your 70-day art sales boot camp, where I cover at a high level some of these silos that I want you guys focused on, like your email marketing and your collector list and Instagram and your pricing and lineup and your pricing generally, and some other things in there, just because it's time to start thinking about these things now. It's like housekeeping time to go ahead and get ready and make sure that we are ready for the busy buying season, which is literally right around the corner. Then the additional thing that I put out yesterday, for those of you guys that are early adopters, that you're using AI, whether you're using our AI or whether you're using any of the other ones, it doesn't matter. We have one, if you guys don't know about it, an Art Helper. You can try it. It's pretty awesome. It's arthelper.ai. But many of you are using the other ones too. I had a really, really profound sort of breakthrough in the last, like, call it, I don't know, 2-3 months, where I've been working on this thing. And I talk about it in this episode, which is, again, Art Marketing Podcast. Totally think you guys should listen to this if you haven't. But I essentially hacked a way to get any of the AIs to be able to write in your voice. And the product is like really, it's groundbreaking, actually, quite frankly. Like it's amazing. And I've started creating these things, and I call them voice prints. I can actually show one here. It's like how thorough this thing is. So this is going to be hard to see on the screen, but I'll read it. And this is from my friend Elena Judah. But It covers your core voice identity, your voice characteristics, your tone and personality, your sentence structure and flow, your signature language patterns like opening hooks, emotional transitions. She's a teacher too, so for her, it's like what she sounds like in teacher voice. Her mental health integration, because she talks about that. Her core artistic themes, her teaching and community, your business and advocacy, voice in different contexts, student features, and on and on and on. And it's just like incredibly thorough document that if you give it, so Rich has got one. You guys can ask Rich. He's in the comments. Like, this thing is a game changer. It is just an absolute game changer. Whether you're using Art Helper, or whether you're using GPT or Claude or Grok or Gemini or any of them in any context, you give it this file and you're basically telling the bot, like, hey, this is how you write in my voice. This is how I like to do things. Okay. This is, what I want to sound like. And it's just so cool because it saves you so much time. You're not having to explain every single solitary time what you sound like. Right. So really, really amazing. I should say on Instagram, if you guys want them, I can only make them. And I'm just making them now to test, but I can only make them if you have enough content. Sorry. I see Rich and I always just think, Gail, I'm sorry about that. I see Rich and I always just think like, oh, hey, it's Rich, but I realize it's Gail. If you guys want me to make you one, I'm doing this right now just to get testing and feedback. So if you're watching on Instagram, you can leave a comment with the words print, so print, and then check your DMs, because I'll send you a direct message on what you can do. For everyone else though that's watching on one of the other streaming platforms, if you go and check the podcast out, it's this latest one, Context is King, start having first dates. Yeah. First dates with ChatGPT every time, which I thought was a fun title. There's a form in the show notes there that you can get at, and that form will do it. Yeah. Acrylic Arts by Sky, you sent me one, and I tried to do it for you, and I couldn't do it for you because I don't think you have enough content. Like the bot needs something to train on, but the process needs something to train on. And David Tiago, I already have one for you. I already made yours. I gotta send David. Send me an email right now, and I'll respond to your email literally right now, because yours is already made. You don't know it, but David was one of my testing guinea pigs, so I'll get you going. Yeah, in Acrylic Arts by this guy is just sorry. Like the thing. I'm not going to tell you how I do it because I have so much sorcery involved in this thing. It's like absolutely wild. But if it doesn't have enough material, you can't get there, which is to be expected, right? So, in encouragement, Acrylic Arts, to get posting, get rolling. But I remember seeing your name in a sheet. Just David, do it, Patrick at artstorefronts.com. And you can just put send me my voice print. It did a really, really good one on David, because David, you guys should check him out. He's a Tiago Photo. He's got like a crazy amount of content that he's created, and he's got just a lot of things going on. And so when you have a lot of things going on, it's like whoa. It's just amazing what it can do. But the long and the short of it, and I go into detail on the podcast, but like AI is so awesome. Most artists have not been going as deep down the rabbit hole as certainly as some of us that are huge nerds, i.e. me. You guys have spent so much time in AI that like literally, I said this yesterday, my wife wants to kill me because I'm like glued in. Like I was on a 4-day trip recently, and I was like actually upset on the trip because I was like, what am I missing? My level of FOMO and what I'm missing in terms of AI is just extreme. But broadly speaking, these AIs are these just giant brains, right? Giant brains. And every time you use it, you start a new chat, it loses all of the context of who you are, what you do, what you sound like, right? And that's really frustrating because it's like in the podcast, I use this example. It's like having a conversation with Drew Barrymore in 50 First Dates, right? You have to just completely repeat yourself to give it all of the context to get the results really, really good. And so, the voice prints, these files that I made solve for it. And what's wild too, Gail, you're on here, David, if you're still on here, like you can upload the file, okay? And you can be like, hey, I want to have the conversation. In fact, you know what? I'll show off David's. David, leave me Janice is like, it's totally freaky. Janice, it's freaky in a good way. David, I'm gonna play with yours right now on this Zoom, if that's okay, or on this live, whatever I'm doing. Yours came out. Yours is like so robust just because how much content you have. Like, you post a lot and you write a lot in your voice. So let me just show you. I'll show you this with ChatGPT. I gotta maximize this. Let me do a new chat. Okay, and just bear with me, you guys. I'm gonna do this and make sure that I'm sharing my screen. You guys can see this. I'm not. So, okay, I'm gonna do this. So what I have here is I just basically have ChatGPT up, right? So I'm going to upload a file, and the file that I'm going to upload is going to be David's voice print. Get that out of there. How do I do this? Hold on, I got to pull this down. I don't want to show off any things in here that you shouldn't be seeing. Okay, hold on. Projects. But this is like the coolest thing about context, and I'm trying to teach you guys on context at a high level. So where is David Ardiaga? What is his? Oh, maybe I don't have his. Maybe I deleted his. I might have to create a new one for you, David. Shoot. Well, I'll use Alana because I know she won't mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this file, and I'm going to go study this file and get context on how I sound and what I do, right? Okay, so you should get this back up on the stage. And I'm sorry, you guys, it's really hard to make this huge and like actually work well on this, right? So what it's going to do is you upload this file, this rich context file that has all this information about who the artist is, what they do, what makes them tick, what makes them interesting, how they talk, how they communicate, right? And I just realized I'm in the wrong ChatGPT model. I gotta do it again. I was in one of the deep thinking miles. Study the markdown, and I want to have the conversation, right? So let me see if this will work. I think I probably have to re-upload it. But that's okay, Gail. That'll give you an opportunity to use yours. Hold on, I gotta pull this down again. If you guys just tuned in, you kind of have just listened passively. This is sort of a spaceship type of a moment. So, okay, I just uploaded Gail's. Study the file. I want to ask you some questions. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. And let me see if I can make this any bigger, you guys, so it's a little bit easier to see. Let me see if I can do this. I can't tell if that's better or worse. It's really hard to get this like perfect size. I think full screen is better. Okay, so what did it say? There's an issue with opening. Yeah, so sometimes ChatGPT too, I noticed, like, it gets a little buggy sometimes so sometimes you have to paste the entire file in there, which is fine. You just get the file and you paste it all in there. All the rest of them are way better than ChatGPT at this for some reason. I don't really know why that is. Okay, hold on. I'm finding your scale. And I want you to see this scale because this is really, really fascinating, right? Okay, so I'm going to get her entire file. Okay, it's this long, it's just this huge long thing, and I'm going to paste it into ChatGPT. So just bear with me. Where did ChatGPT go? Get back here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new window to clear out. I'm going to paste her entire file in. Study this text. I want to talk with you about it. Okay. So it's now studying Gail's entire voice print, right? And it's gonna read through it. And I just realized I'm on the wrong model too. So a few things that jumped out. Core thoughts and lines: nature and spirituality, educational warmth are non-negotiables. So I know when Gail communicates, nature and spirituality and education need to be part of it. Every piece of content, artwork, blurb, promo, sanctuary story invites the reader to participate or reflect. Practical detail, waterproof placement, suggestions always follows the poetic descriptions. So what I'm trying to show you here is that after it has your voice print, yes, you can ask this thing to write you an Instagram post in your voice. Yes, you can ask it to write you a blog post. Yes, you can ask it to respond to a user's email. Yes, you can ask it to do a presentation for a gallery or retool your website copy or any of the voice-related things that you should be doing on a regular basis and communicating, right? But what's insane that you can do is, what holes does Gail have in her communication style? Okay. And it's because I have this in-depth text document of how she sounds and what she normally says. It can say, okay, here are the communication gaps that she has in her messaging, meaning what she says on her website and what she says in her Instagram, like these are the gaps that she has, right? And so email marketing, subject lines, preview text, long form newsletter cadence, why it matters. Collectors often convert via email. Voice may need to be warmer, but more concise than IG captions. Add subject lines, coastal con for your inbox. So what I'm trying to show with all of this, okay, is when you have the context, absolutely everything changes. Number one. Number two, these AIs are the smartest things we've ever had an opportunity to talk with, right? And so when you give it the context, you can have conversations about anything. And this giant brain will come back with things that you didn't even know were holes in your operation. So again, anyone that's watching this on Instagram, you can leave me a comment with the words print, P-R-I-N-T, and I will create one for you. What happens after you leave the comment with the words print is I will save you, or it'll send you a DM. For everyone else that's not watching on Instagram, because that only works on Instagram because Instagram is fancy, just go listen to this podcast. Context is king. I'll get it up on the screen. Context is king. It's the Art Marketing Podcast. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. And there's a form in the show notes. So if you see this, like voice print application, it'll open this form. And all you got to do is just put this in here. And I will help you out and make one for you, which, by the way, costs me money every single solitary time I do it. So they're special. So I do want you to use them, and I do want you to give me feedback. But that's what I got, you guys. Q4, 61 days. Giddy up. We got to get going. I'm going to have more and more and more podcast episodes to come, by the way, specifically because we've got to get ready for the tremendous art selling holiday. So thank you all for tuning in and hanging out. I'll see you in future videos, and everyone have a absolutely great rest of your day. Thanks.